Hello! Today is another book review day, and this week I have been reading, can't get it in the light there, Conjuring the Infinite by Kirkland Ciccone. And this one is another one from the library's teen section. I can't help it, I do like a teen book. They are pretty good. And I did actually really enjoy this one. I wouldn't say it's the best book that I've read from the teen section, but it certainly was gripping. And I couldn't put it down, really. It really kind of held my attention. So I'll just read you the blurb on the back like I normally do, and then I will tell you about the story. Okay, so it starts off. The cottage is a care unit in the country for troubled teenagers who have been chewed up by the system. Its residents are in mourning for the loss of one of their number, the dazzling and outwardly faultless Seth Kevorkian. After the funeral, they return to the cottage to remember him, but when Mother leaves, the truth unfolds. For Seth was no ordinary teenager. He was a disciple of an ethereal power, and his fixation with conjuring the infinite drove him to terrible acts. It might even have driven someone to kill him. A psychic is seeing visions of Armageddon. The abomination upstairs wants to be fed. The rain seethes with life, and something moves in the shadows, hiding in the mirrors. Can the housemates trust what they see? Can they even trust each other? The eyes of the sky have opened and looked into Seth's soul. The unearthly power of the infinite has been invoked, and now the ambassadors are on their way. That just drew me in straight away. I also, I'm the kind of person who does judge a book by its cover, unfortunately, and I really like the cover on this one. And unfortunately, you can't really see it very well, but the letters of the title are all, they're made up by small little images, and they are bigger inside the book. And I don't know if you can see that there. There's like an ambulance and a cow and a flashlight and some tablets and things. And I don't know, that some things are relevant to the book and others aren't. They're just kind of cute little images. There's a frog in there, a pair of eyes, a lorry, a light bulb. I just quite like that. It added like another dimension to the story. I don't know why, or to the book. Like I say, it wasn't really attached to the story, but yeah, I like that anyway. So basically, the cottage, like it says on the back, is a home for well, it says troubled teenagers, but from reading it, they don't seem particularly troubled. The only reason they are there is because their parents can't look after them. Main reasons are their parents are criminals, they're in jail, they've got drug addictions or alcohol addictions, and they've just been taken away kind of by social services, I assume, and put in this cottage. And there's only a handful of teenagers living there, with Mother, who oversees everything, and she has a second in command, a lady called Lily, who is a psychiatrist. She kind of helps them through their problems. I guess their problems come from their parents and their problems that the parents had. But in all fairness, they do just seem like normal teenagers. They're a little bit outspoken, they're a little bit cocky. But that's what teenagers are like, really. You know, that's just how they are. So they didn't seem too wayward. So Seth is the newest resident at the cottage, and Mother thinks that he's absolutely lovely. He's very charming with her, but with everyone else he is a bully, and he steals from them, he snoops in their rooms, he just treats them badly. They go to school and he bullies them at school. He just does whatever he can to make their lives miserable. But with Mother, he's the image of perfection. So Mother doesn't believe if anyone said anything bad against Seth. She wouldn't believe it, because to her he's absolutely lovely. So the book starts at Seth's funeral, and everybody from the cottage has obviously gone to the funeral, but none of them liked him. So none of them are really that bothered that he's dead, and that kind of gives you, knowing that he was killed, you've already got a group of suspects there, and as you read further through the book you see all the awful things that he did to each person. So that's part of the kind of the suspense of it. It's, you know, who killed him, and it could be any one of these people, because like I say, he was just awful to all of them, and gave them reason to to kill him. The chapters are arranged with alternate chapters, starting with the funeral and then carrying on through the present, and then the alternate chapters are the past, and through those past chapters we learn about the character of Seth and what he did to everybody. But in the present, after the funeral, they all arrive back at the cottage, and because Mother thinks Seth is so wonderful, she's put a giant picture of him in the dining room, and they all sit down to dinner, and Mother wants everybody to share their lovely happy memories of Seth, to keep him, you know, to keep him alive a little bit longer. And nobody can. Nobody has anything nice to say about him because, like I say, he just treated them all badly. And as this evening goes on, strange things start to happen, and there's kind of like a supernatural feeling in the house. There's something a bit spooky, a bit out of this world. And this, we find out, in the past, when Seth arrived, he wanted to conjure the infinite. And this infinite is some sort of supernatural being. It's not God or the devil. There's no you don't know if it's a good or a bad supernatural being. It is just something extremely powerful. And Seth wants to conjure the infinite, and by doing so, Seth would then become all powerful, and that's what he wants. He just wants power. He wants to be in charge of everything. He wants to be immortal, and he manages to get everyone in the cottage to go out on one Halloween evening into the forest to perform a ritual and to perform spells in order to conjure this infinite, and it would then be absorbed into Seth, and then Seth would be this all-powerful being. And something goes wrong, and it doesn't happen, and Seth is extremely angry, and the need to conjure this infinite just drives him. That's all he's interested in, is getting this power and becoming this great being. So that's all he's aiming for, and on his way he just keeps bullying these people and just doing what he doesn't care. He knows that at the end of the day he's going to be the infinite. He's going to be this all-powerful being. And I'm not going to tell you what happens because it's extremely cleverly done in such a way where, you know, if you're reading any sort of crime book and your hints are dropped at who committed the crime, and then right at the end you find out it's somebody that you just wouldn't have expected. And that may have given something away here. I didn't mean to. Sorry, ignore that if you didn't want to really know the ending. But you don't know the ending. I'm not telling you who done it. Seth is shot. We know that he is killed from the beginning, so I'm not giving anything away there because obviously they're at his funeral. But it does hold your attention very well, and like I've said before, the only difference between a book for teens and a book for adults is the main character is a teenager, and this could have, if you'd put adults in the same position, it would have still have been a very gripping and thrilling story. And yeah, I did enjoy it. It was gripping. You do kind of lose your breath a little way through it because it's very fast paced, and you don't know what's going on, and especially adding a kind of a supernatural element into everything just takes it to another level. So I would recommend this one to read. I think it is a good little read. It didn't take me long to read, but that doesn't mean it's a bad book or anything, just because it's a teenage book and you know it's a fairly fast paced read. So yeah, so I would read Conjuring the Infinite, and I think you will enjoy it. So if you would like to hear any more of my book reviews, or if you'd like some writing advice, or you really want to find out about my writing world and the things that I write, then please subscribe to my channel, where I try to put out videos about anything to do with writing and or books. And have a good day, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.